a simple but very effective remedy that we use in our clinic to treat cardiovascular diseases. Cardiovascular diseases are problems and diseases like high blood pressure, heart attacks, angina, strokes, neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, intermittent claudication, which results in calf pain, as well as joint problems. All these are caused by cardiovascular diseases. And the main cause of cardiovascular diseases is the hardening and narrowing of the artery, also known as arteriosclerosis. Now, before I talk about the simple remedy that we use to treat cardiovascular diseases, I would like to talk about the main cause of cardiovascular diseases, or the main cause of hardening of the artery that results in cardiovascular diseases. Arteriosclerosis, or narrowing and hardening of the artery, is primarily caused by inflammation. Inflammation is like a wound, like a cut on the skin. So when you have an injury, there's bleeding, and the same thing happens inside the body. So the organs, the lining of the arteries, the stomach, the joints, they can also become injured, and this is what referred to as inflammation. And the body has a specific way it responds to inflammation or injury. It does this by sending out platelets or clotting cells to stop the bleeding. And normally this is very effective, but sometimes when inflammation is chronic, such as we have in so many people today because of the processed foods that we're eating and contaminated air we are breathing, all introducing toxins to cause chronic inflammation. So when this chronic inflammation occurs in the body, the clotting process continues unabated. And these clotting cells have a way of clumping together. So when there's chronic inflammation, they clump together, and then this clumping piles up until you have plaque in the lining of the arteries, or complete blockages of arteries, as well as clot formation. So the plaque can rupture and then send out clots to distal parts of the body. So this is what happens with chronic inflammation. And when the plaque lines the arteries and then the arteries become narrow, this restricts blood supply to the organs. So when the blood vessels or the arteries to the brain becomes narrower, it restricts blood supply to the brain, leading to all kinds of brain problems, depression, migraine, and also causing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. When there's narrowed blood supply to the heart, it would cause heart attack, that will lead to high blood pressure, would cause angina. When there's narrowed blood vessels in the joints, leading to restricted blood flow, this will cause all kinds of joint problems. So on and on it goes. And this is how narrowing of the artery would lead to cardiovascular diseases. Conventional medicine or hospitals respond to these problems by prescribing blood thinners such as aspirin and warfarin. Okay, the premise is that if you can get the blood very thin, it will flow through narrowed arteries. But there's a lot of problems with this. For a start, these drugs that thin the blood affect the clotting system. And as we can see, the body needs this clotting system to stop internal bleeding. And so the main adverse effects of blood thinners is that it contributes to internal bleeding, and also some of the problems that it's supposed to prevent. Like studies show that blood thinners would contribute to stroke and heart attack. And this is why we don't use these drugs in our clinics. We have to deal with the side effects of these drugs, so we cannot use them in our clinic. Instead, we use a little known natural agent called Serpentis that helps to prevent and treat cardiovascular diseases. So how does Serpentis work? Well, Serpentis dissolves plaque in the artery. It's derived from the silkworm. It helps the silkworm break out of its cocoon to emerge as a moth. And over 50 years, Serpentis has been studied and shown to be very effective for dissolving plaque in the arteries and preventing cardiovascular diseases. And also, it has no side effects. Now, several studies have shown that Serpentis is effective, but we have also carried out our studies in our clinic. We have a diagnostic technology that allows us to diagnose diseases as well as monitor diseases. And since the past 5 years, we have seen that Serpentis is highly effective for dissolving plaque anywhere in the body. Thank you very much, and I wish you great success with your health.